Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're jumping into Okta's latest earnings report. But, we're not just going to crunch numbers here. We are going to unpack the huge strategic story Okta is building around identity, security, and the future of AI. And let's kick things off with this quote from CEO Todd McKinnon, because it really sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about. The message is just crystal clear. You can't get to the AI future if you don't nail identity first. I mean, think about it. Without knowing exactly who or what is touching your data, all that AI promise can turn into a giant security nightmare fast. So keep that thought front and center. Okay, so before we dive deep into that grand vision, we've got to look at the engine that's powering it all. A bold strategy doesn't mean a thing if you can't execute, right? So let's do a real quick breakdown of Okta's Q2 performance. So first up, revenue. They pulled in $728 million. That's up a solid 13% year over year. This shows really steady, consistent demand for their platform. It's the foundation of a really healthy business. But here's where it gets really interesting. It's not just about growth. It's about making money. A non-GAAP operating margin of almost 28%. That's a massive jump from last year. Simply put, it means Okta has gotten incredibly good at turning its revenue into actual profit. And that efficiency story just keeps going with a 22.3% free cash flow margin. This is huge. It means after all the operational costs are covered, Okta is just generating a ton of cash. And that cash, that's the fuel that lets them invest in new tech, make smart acquisitions, and just handle whatever the economy throws at them. It's a sign of a very, very healthy operation. All right, so the numbers, they're solid, no doubt about it. But what management is really trying to sell everyone on is a much bigger idea. They're not just selling you another identity product. They're building what they're calling an identity security fabric, and it's designed specifically for this new age of AI. So, what in the world is an identity fabric? Well, think of it like a security blanket that covers your entire digital world. It's not just for your employees logging into their email anymore. We're talking about securing all the little service accounts, the APIs, and this is the critical part, the thousands of AI agents that are about to become our new digital coworkers. It's one system to rule them all. And look, this isn't just some marketing buzzword, right? They've actually broken it down into 4 concrete steps. First, you have to find all these new non-human things running around your network. Then, you got to register them properly. After that, you slap the right security roles on them. And finally, you watch them. You monitor them all the time. This is their roadmap for securing this whole new workforce. Okay, a big vision is one thing, but can they actually pull it off? That's the real question. Execution is everything. So let's dig into management's playbook and see why they're so confident they can deliver on this AI identity future. Man, this quote from the CFO, this is a huge deal. If you remember, last quarter they were a little worried about the economy, a little cautious about their government business. Now they're coming out and saying, you know that caution we had? Yeah, we don't need it anymore. Things are looking good. That's a massive signal of confidence. And you can see why they're so confident. It's not just talk. They've retooled their sales teams and boom, it's working. They've got a record pipeline of new deals. Their public sector business is on fire. They just landed a massive deal with the Department of Defense. And they're making smart chess moves, like buying Acxiom Security to beef up a key part of their platform. Of course, Okta isn't the only game in town. You've got giants like Microsoft, and the landscape is always shifting with big deals happening. But here's the interesting part. Okta actually spins this competition as a good thing, arguing that they have a secret weapon. So how do they make that case? Well, they put the data right up against their biggest rival, Microsoft, and they're not shy about it. Look at the outage minutes, 69 for them versus over 2,000 for Microsoft. That's a massive difference in reliability. Then there's adoption. Over 90% of their admins chose to use multi-factor authentication, which suggests people actually like using their product. And of course, they point to third-party validation from places like Gartner. And what about those big deals shaking up the industry? The CEO's take is fascinating. He basically says, great, it just proves our point that identity is critical. But then he plays his trump card. Okta's neutrality. See, they aren't tied to Microsoft's cloud, or Amazon's, or Google's. Their whole game is to be the one platform that connects to everything and plays nice with everyone. That independence, they argue, is their ultimate advantage. So, you put it all together. A strong quarter, a really clear AI strategy, and a ton of confidence about where they stand in the market. So, where do they go from here? Let's take a look at their updated forecast. And here's the proof in the pudding. They are not just talking a good game, they're raising their forecast for the entire year. They're bumping up revenue growth expectations, pushing for an even healthier operating margin of 25 to 26%, and guiding to a massive free cash flow margin of around 28%. That is some serious conviction backed by numbers. Which brings us full circle, right back to that AI question we started with. Okta built a fantastic, profitable business by managing us, the human identities. But as we're about to see this explosion of non-human AI workers, well, the real question, the multi-billion-dollar question is this. Is securing this new army of AI agents the thing that takes Okta from being a big company to being an absolutely essential pillar of the entire AI economy? That's what we'll all be watching.